And we are live.
We are live. Hello. So welcome to Real People, Real Talk, Real Issues. I hope that did the video show? Did you see the intro?
Yeah, that was a lovely intro.
That was
Okay,
a
so
long intro.
it was a what?
It was a long intro.
Okay, but it did
Yeah,
go through
Yeah.
everything. Okay, good. Okay, good. Um, I want to welcome everyone. We do have let me okay, there was somebody trying to join. I do have other guests that will be coming on, but this is part two of what is love. What is love in marriage? What is love in friendship? And what is love in courtship? And so we actually had a fourth part. What is love? Because love is God is love. And so that is where we get love from. And so we discuss that as well. So we're going to discuss those remaining two and what is not. And also we're going to have a live Q&A. So anyone who wants to come on board and maybe even come on or in the chat, you can leave a question. Um, please do so. But I would like to open up with prayer. Miss Millie, would you mind giving the honor of opening us up in a short prayer?
Absolutely. Father, thank you that we can come and gather this morning, this afternoon, from around the globe, from around the country, knowing that you are a God who loves us, who has a purpose for us. And so as we commit ourselves, as we commit this time, Lord, we pray that you would be glorified, that you would speak to people's hearts because you know where this message is going to wind up. And we do pray that it would illuminate questions that have needed answers. And so, Father, as we give this time to you, would you bless it? Would you anoint us to speak your truth with love so that others can receive it and find freedom? We bless you and thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. I think someone has. I'm going to. I'm going to just mute. Okay. So, can everyone hear me? You can hear me. Okay. So, could
Yes,
we
we
just
can hear you.
um, hi, Pastor Well? Could everyone just quick just introduce themselves again, and tell just a little bit about yourself before we kind of dive into our discussion. We'll go with you, Miss Millie.
I don't always have to be first, but it's okay. I'm Millie Martinez, and I currently live in Chicago, Illinois. Um, I have I've been married, so I understand the ins and outs of marriage. I think I've walked with the Lord long enough to understand what love is and what love is not. Um, I do have a 34-year-old son, um, and I've been involved with prison ministry. I've been involved with intercession ministry. Uh, Currently doing a divorce care uh, group for people who are just starting the process of divorce, or in the middle of it, or who have actually been divorced. Um, Also have done uh, youth ministry, which is different. Um, I do work for a school district, so I guess that has helped me for quite some time. And, you know, I do have many, many spiritual children that look to me for guidance. And, you know, it's been a blessing. There's also, I graduated Liberty University later in life because the Lord saw that there would be a need for theological truths to those who are hurting or who just need to acknowledge the Word of God, and to see what walking with the Lord really looks like. Because you can have a form of godliness, but not represent the God of the Bible that we talk about. Um, and so, you know, also involved with a biblical counseling uh, class that I'm also in the midst of doing. So I've been very busy for the past couple of months. And I'm looking to see, you know, I want to see people healed. Um, there's a lot of things that we go through in life, and, you know, the only solution to those answers is going to be the Word of God. So I'm glad that the Lord has started this journey, but He is far from finished. So I'm just
Mm,
looking to see what He's going to do.
thank you, Miss Millie. Beautiful, beautiful. So Sister Joy, can you, Sister Joy, can you come on and introduce yourself, please?
Okay. Good day, everyone. I'm happy to be here this evening over here. My name is Joy Paul. I'm a student, just finished my undergraduate program based in Nigeria, and I'm a single lady. I'm a Christian, and I organize interactive section with leaders of my age group, and then we have interactive section, talk about Bible, talk about life matters, talk about everything that concerns us as leaders. and that's what I'm into currently. Yes, I'm a graduate of Federal University of Technology, Mina, in Nigeria over here. That's basically it.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Sister Joy. Thank you. Um,
So,
Pastor Well.
Good evening.
Good evening. Can you,
Hello.
hi,
Okay, I
can you,
can hear you now. Yeah, I can hear you now.
okay, can you briefly just introduce yourself?
Okay, good evening, everyone. Good to be here. My name is Wade Collins Ewe. I'm an ambassador of the gospel. I'm a graduate of architecture. I run a construction firm. I'm also into discipleship and writing of Christian literature. And my passion is seeing people discipled and established in the word of truth. So that's all I'll say about myself for now. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pastor Well. So, so we are going to get going. We have quite a bit to discuss and to cover. So, we stopped off last week at what is love, and we discussed what is love coming from God. That that He is love. And so we came from that. Everyone discussed that. Then we went, what is love in marriage? And so we did discuss that. And so we were getting into what is love and friendship. And so can we start with that? I guess maybe I should open it up. You think? Everyone think? Okay. Okay. Put it on me. So, what is love in friendship? I would say what is love in friendship is sacrifice because it's not always convenient when maybe a friend in need is needing something or is going through something. And so you will sacrifice your time. You may even sacrifice your resource because that person may need you to come and physically be there with them. So that may mean to come by airplane, drive, or however you can get there. And that's sacrifice of your resources, like I say, of your time. So that is love. Also love, it tells you the truth, but in love. There's a way to tell the truth that is harsh, that is condescending, but love in friendship will tell you the truth. If there is something that you see in that person's life that is a destructive pattern, then love would say something. Definitely, if there's a warning of something that is imminent danger, or I'm trying to think of an example, like maybe if a person is, let's say they are an occasional drinker, like, oh, I just here or there, it's okay, nothing's wrong with just here, and then you notice that they're doing it more, and then it's more. So you would say something. Love doesn't just sit silently and let a person deconstruct. I wouldn't want someone in my life like that. I would want someone that would be love me enough to say, sis, what you're doing, or what is happening, or maybe you may want to, um, I don't know, look into this, etc. That to me is what love would do, would pull me aside and would talk to me. And so that is for me. Also, I would say love and friendship is not where you're um how can I say, you respect that other person. You respect that other person differences. You respect that other person, what they have to bring to the table. um I think that's important. And it's give and take. It's a give and take relationship. It's not just one sided. I'm not saying it has to be 50-50 or this or that, because we go through different seasons in our lives that may cause us to not be able to maybe be as present as we would like to be. And so I think, to me, that is love and friendship. And also, I don't know, just to kind of add this, but I've heard that, um, and I believe this statement too, that you don't really know who your friend is until like you have had a disagreement, or you have made that person, I don't know, where you've had something that is caused some type of friction. That's when you really know. But if it's all just, that type of thing, I mean, or we're always agreeing on the same thing, we're always on the same page. Um, that's not really an indication, I think, of love in a friendship. I think it's when you are unlovable, when you go through seasons in your life, and we all will go through them. That to me will be the mark of, okay, a true, I mean, love in friendship. And then, of course, we can go through love is patient, love is kind, and all of those attributes that the Bible talks about, long suffering with the person when they make a mistake. Do we just like, oh, I can't associate with that person anymore, oh, look what they did? Do you just leave them, or do you try to help restore them? Not saying you're agreeing with what they're doing, but being there um, for that person in their time of what they're going through. So that is, to me, what is, I think it's exhaustive. It could be, and that's, I want to hear from everyone else. But for me, that is what love and friendship is. So let's go with Pastor Wells, since he's the only guy right now. What is to you? um, what is love and friendship? What does that mean to you? Hello. Okay, so we will go then with Sister Joy. Can you tell us what love and friendship means to you? Oh, you're muted. Can you, Sister Joy, are you there? Yes. Can you tell us what is love
Yes.
to you in friendship?
Okay. Love is patient. Like the Bible says, love is patient. Love is kind. Love is patient. Love is kind. And one thing is, when you lose your patience in a friendship, you lose everything. You lose everything. And one thing that happens during friendship is your patience will be tried and tested, because it's not easy. Everybody comes from different background, different upbringing and everything. And most times, our friends tend to do some things to us that it takes patience, or else we'll lose the friendship. And most people claim to have patience, but when challenges comes, they tend to fall back. Like when both of you are in disagreement, or when both of you are having one or two things. Because definitely, if you are saying you're a friend with someone, there are times that you both will disagree on issues. But when all these challenges come, Now it takes patience for you to keep the friendship going. It takes patience for you to keep the 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 friendship going. Patience is endurance. Another word for patience is endurance.
Mm.
Enduring circumstances, enduring length, wait, tolerating each other, SSS. That's patience. So love is patience. So for you to have a successful friendship, you must learn to be patient with one another. Yes, like you do not start a building and finish it in a day. No, it takes time. There are times that you want to start a building, you might do one or two things and then it will fall back, and then you're trying to just um make things work and make everything come out perfectly, but it won't take a day. Most times it take months, most times it take weeks for you to finish up a building. So it's actually a gradual process. So without patience, the structure of your friendship will be unstable.
Hmm.
So you need patience to keep going for you to have a long lasting friendship. You need patience. Patience is the key. Patience, your friend is not perfect. That's one thing you should know. For you to keep friendship, your friends, they are not perfect.
Yeah.
So you just have to bear with them. You just have to patiently work with them for you to achieve the goal. So patience is the key. So love is patient. Love is commitment. Love is
Mm.
commitment. Love is patience. Love is kind. Love is endurance, because you have to endure. You have to endure. You have to endure. Now, the Bible speaking, it's a part of the fruit of the spirit is long suffering, and to me, I feel long suffering is patience.
Mm.
Is actually patient. And they say patient dog eats the fattest bone and all that. So for you to get the blessing of the friendship, you just have to be patient with one another. So love it's patience in essence. So that's all I can say about that.
Hmm. Thank you, Sister Joy. Wow, it's yeah, that was good. I'll wait to the Q&A. Thank you. So I'm going back to you, Pastor Well.
Ma, sorry, the network was really poor. I was trying to connect, but it took me out, so I had to come back in.
Oh, no problem. So, what is love to you in friendship?
Okay, love in friendship. I think, first of all, let me start like this by saying, I think every friendship or every relationship has to be well defined from the very beginning. And
Hmm.
because many people are into friendship for different reasons. There are certain people that are into friendship for the sake of business, and some are into it because you share maybe some values in certain areas. And a lot of people have many reasons why they want to go into friendship. But however, I think from the perspective of scripture, he said, a friend loveth at all time. So true friendship is all encompassing. Doesn't just say, "Oh, okay, Satan is a good business person, and so that means I'm friends with her because she brings in the connection regarding business." So if you look at the perspective of friendship, looking at, let's say, Abraham and God, you notice that it was all encompassing. That was why at the end of the day, God said, Abraham is my friend. Look at Proverbs. Proverbs says something very striking. He said, a friend loveth at all time. So he said, so when you look at friendship from scriptures and from God's perspective, it gives you a broader view of what friendship should be. And then on the issue of love in friendship, I think on the issue of love, many a time we don't look at love from this perspective that love is actually a decision that you have to make. And for you to actually be for that friendship to last, then there must be a purpose for that friendship and thus love that comes into that friendship, and which we when that is established, Then we can talk about the fruit or the characteristics of love, which is patience, long suffering, and the rest of them. But first of all, the defining line has to be purpose. Why are you into this friendship as a person? Because if purpose is lost, then the friendship becomes just both of you wasting your time. So
Hmm.
because friendship has to be meaningful so that it can amplify both of you. Because one thing about friendship is that whosoever you are friends with will rub off on you. It's a matter
Hmm.
of time you begin to pick one or two traits from that person. And so
Hmm.
that's why if you notice, scripture also warned us about friendship. He said, trying to get the right word, the way he put it, he said, don't you know, he said that friendship with the world is enmity against God. He said, for evil communication corrupts what? Good manners. So when you look at friendship, is not just something you just enter into. Oh, we are in the same class, so that means we can be friends. Oh, or we attend the same club, we have to be friends. And no, when you go into friendship, you must go into it with intention. You must look at, okay, fine, why am I friends with this person? Because if the friendship from the very beginning is not well defined, there will be abuse. And
Hmm.
sometimes it can be emotional abuse, sometimes it can be extortion. So there have to be it has to be well defined from the very beginning. And so, and again, in going into friendship, you must also look at the person. Does the person core value aligns with mine? Is this person traveling in the same direction I want to go? Because there are many people today who are having a lot of difficulties and baggages in their life because of the kind of friendship they entered into. Some
Hmm.
people would have been far better than the way they are today if they have just avoided some certain people. And mind you, one thing about friendship is this, is that there are certain people that will be very loving and useful friend to some other people, but because of your purpose, such a person cannot align. And if you decide to keep such a person around, it becomes a clog in the wheel. You have to start dragging that person, and you cannot go as far as you want to go. So, in as much as scripture tells us to love people, he said, if it's possible, make peace with all men. Yes, but when you say someone is your friend, because in friendship there is vulnerability. That's what most people don't think about, because you
Wow.
are vulnerable around your friends. Because many of the time people think about, oh no, it's only around your lover. No, there are certain intimate details that you can share with your friends that you can't share with everybody. That's the reason. Just because we talk does not necessarily make us friends. And I think another area when we look at friendship is that sometimes we don't allow people in our trust, and before we start opening ourselves, and we don't get take our time to know the person real well, and then we start saying some things, and then at the end of the day, sometimes this becomes the tool that the person will use in harming us tomorrow. So, in as much as we are to be open to people, but the scripture also talks about the place of wisdom, because friendship is not something you just toy with. Friendship can determine how far you go. So when you look at friendship and love, these two things goes together simultaneously, and that's why you must be very careful when making this decision. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. That was a lot of things I hadn't even thought about. So thank you, Pastor Well. Thank you. Now, my lovely sister Millie, um, over to you.
Wow, that was a lot said,
Yeah.
but it was good information.
Yes.
Um, what is love and friendship? First of all, yeah, what he said, there has to be vulnerability. There does. Because you just don't want to bring people who um, who are going to demean you, who are going to hurt you, backstab you. Um, there has to be a level of trust. There has to be a level of, yeah, vulnerability. I mean, there, and it's also, I can't remember the scripture right now, but it says that you know, bad company corrupts good morals. And so, you know, and if we have the Holy Spirit with us, in us, you know, you're going to determine whether that person is good for you or not. You're just going to sense that, So yeah, you have to use this some discernment to know, okay, this this is a person I can trust. This is a person that I can share um, things with, because even in what the dictionary says, but I like what the thesaurus says. A friend, you have to appreciate one another. You have to cherish one another. You have to value one another, because those are all important in order for a friendship to thrive. To be able to, you can't just share a difficulty you may be going through with somebody you're not going to trust. I mean, that's a given, right? But once you establish a friendship, um, the level of trust increases, the level of vulnerability increases, what you can share um, increases, where there now becomes what I call a kindred spirit, where you're not afraid to becoming um, vulnerable of sharing, because I've the Lord has put many amazing women in my life that have been incredible friends, incredible confidants, that that can walk you through those difficult times in your life, where you have that vulnerability, you have that trust, that you go to each other's houses, you spend time. I mean, and Jesus gave us the example with the disciples. They ate together, they prayed together, they did everything together, because why? They were spending time together, and that togetherness brings it brings unity, it brings it brings healing. And so to have a friend in that magnitude, I believe everyone has a season where, you know, that that person comes along and almost like walks you through that season in your lifetime to get you to where God wants you to be, so that you can come to the other side healed, restored, um, not feeling um, not feeling like you don't have a friend in the world, because we all need community. And so it's important that, especially if you have a prayer life, it makes it easier when you develop that intimacy. And intimacy is not necessarily physical, it can be spiritual, it can be emotional, which is so incredible to get us through to those difficulties that life will bring our way. So to me, that's what you're not going to give your keys to a car to an absolute total stranger. Neither are you going to give your keys to your home if you haven't known the person and who they are. I mean, that would be foolish for you to do that, right? But when you know that it's God ordained and love has brought you two together, and it could be, a man and a woman, it could be a mother and a son, it could be a woman coming beside you, because there's something that we have to give them or they have to give us, to get us through to the other side. And to me, it's important that we bear the love of Christ in us, so that they can know that, what, if God walked you through that, I know that He can walk me through it as well. So love in friendship is extremely important, and you have to show yourself friendly. Because if, who wants to approach someone who looks like, they ate sour grapes? I don't think you want to become friends with somebody who's always depressed, who's always complaining. You know, that that I, that wouldn't be beneficial to you finding healing, or you finding strength, or you finding hope. And so, um, you know, that's my take on it.
Sorry. I'm like writing notes because I just have, especially when we get to the Q&A part, I have some questions because some really good points have really been brought up. And so um, I'm excited. So, Brother McPherson, so we're going to go with Sister Vivian. Sorry, Sister Vivian, could you tell us what love is to you in friendship?
Oh, okay. It's my turn. Good evening, everyone. Sorry, just joining in now. To me, I believe love should be something, something not based on feeling, something not based on emotions. It should be something that comes, something you are conscious about. Love should be, how do I put this? Can you hear me?
Yes, very good.
Love should be intentional. In terms of friendship, you don't need a reason to love anybody. So it should be something intentional. So love should come freely. You don't have to have a reason to love me to know that you love me. If there's a reason for you to love me, what if the reason is no longer there anymore? Then won't you love me anymore? So love should be something intentional. That's my take.
Hmm. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Sister Vivian. So Brother McPherson, thank you for joining us. So can you tell us what your take is on what is love um in a friendship?
Hello, good evening, everyone. Everybody can hear me, right?
Yes.
Yes, good evening, sir. We can hear you.
Brother Words, Pastor Words, good evening, sir. Quickly, when if I get you right, we are talking about love in friendship. So it's specific.
Yes. What is
Am I correct?
love in friendship? Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, I think first of all, the term love is a decision made to hold someone up, to be there for someone, and to tell them the harsh truth when people can't seem to do that. So love actually goes beyond just how we feel. It is a decision, and if love is a decision, it therefore is important that we understand that there's a difference between I love everybody because the Bible asked me to, or because they are human beings, or because I am. You get it. It's different from having somebody as a friend. When it comes to having somebody as a friend, because Sister Lillian was saying that you don't need a reason to love me, but the thing is, I actually do. I actually need a reason to love somebody. Because when we talk about love, saying that I can't hurt you, I've never known you from Adam, but I can't hurt you. That's because I have a particular sense of love. And because love has to do with regards. So I have a particular sense of love for everybody that exists in the world. But when it comes to, so I won't hurt you, and I don't expect you to also hurt me back, but not notwithstanding, we do know that although you don't hurt people, there are people that can hurt you. So when it comes to friendship, I need a reason to love you as a friend. I need a reason. I've never seen anybody that says this person is my friend, I love him for no reason. It doesn't happen.
Wow.
It's non-existent. So when we love somebody is because of a reason. And because people don't understand this, when you love somebody and that person is your friend, do well to tell the person the reason you love them. That way they preserve it. I
Hmm.
love you because you are caring. I love you because you are always there to hold me up in bad times. I love you because of the things you do. And these people, they work to preserve the basics of the love. But when you tell them I just love you, there's no reason for it. Then you see people being recalcitrant, you see people being lackadaisical in their attitude or their approach towards their so-called friendship or their so-called relationship. So there's always a reason why we love people and invite them into our inner circle. Because when you have a friend, that friend is somebody you brought into your inner circle. And there are reasons for that. We can't say there are no reasons for that. There are reasons for that. And we want to look at the reasons. We'll talk about trust. We talk about being available. We talk about the shoulders that are always there. We talk about different kind of things when it comes to friendship. So when you talk about love, there is a reason for it. And love is a decision, and that decision is very important. A decision of choosing someone to hold, to trust, to be there for, to be everything for. And if that is true, if it is a decision, that means you need to look for somebody, or you need to be in this league with somebody who is not who is not a decision breaker, who doesn't just wake up the next day. What he decided yesterday becomes a thing of the past today. He's just he's as unstable as water. He's here or there. He's neither here nor there. So when we are making the decisions of love, if love is a decision, we should look for people who are very principled to keep their words. That's why marriage fail. Marriage fail because we think love is a feeling, not a decision, and then we go into marriage with people who can't even make up their minds. Today they are here, tomorrow they are there, next tomorrow they are somewhere else. So today they tell you I love you for no reason, and tomorrow they are telling you I'm breaking up because they actually love you for no reason, so they can break up with you for no reason. Thank you.
Whew. Wow. Brother McPherson, that
That was a
wow,
lot.
that was whoa. That was you unpacked that. That was that was really good. I mean, everybody's contribution, which what I want to say is, you might think, oh, what I said, what the next person said, but everybody's take, that is what is so what I so love about this, and with just a different perspective and things that I hadn't thought about, and wow. So I think did I touch? I think we touched with everyone about what love is in friendship. So now we want to go to um we can go to what is I'm thinking of going ahead and going to what is love and courtship, and then or do we want to go into what love is not in friendship and then head to the other one? This is what would the panel like to do?
Well, keep it concurrent.
So
So, so the next topic
we'll
would
go
be
to the next topic.
what love is not in friendship.
What love is not. We want to touch on that. What love is not.
Just keep
Okay.
it going.
Keep it concurrent.
Yeah, so
So
that we can keep the flow.
keep it flowing. Okay, thank you. So I'll go and start. So what love is not in friendship? For me, I would say what love is not is when someone um when they treat you like what is a disposable plate, like paper plate. Um And I'll just explain what I mean by that. All of us probably know what plastic, plates are. They're not meant to be kept. They are meant to, when you use it, then you throw it away. They're for convenience. They're for convenience for when you want to use it and then throw it away, because you don't keep plastic plates. So when a person only wants to interact with you, deal with you, um, when it convenience them, when it's for something they're getting. I would say that is not love in friendship. People are not disposable like that. They're not disposable. And just for all the reasons that was mentioned, what love is in a friendship, because you do become vulnerable. Some share quicker than others, some of what they share, how, but nevertheless, you are exposing yourself, you're making yourself vulnerable, you bringing them in to your more inner circle than just a casual, like, hi, how are you? Fine, good, thank you, hope you have a good day, and then that's it. You're gradually bringing them in, and you're sharing bits by bits of things, about yourself, about your family, about your hurts, about your uh, things that you have dreams about, all of those things, which are precious to you. So when someone is only coming around when they want something from you, that is not love in friendship. And I coined that as a disposable, like a person that treats you like a disposable plate. Use you when it's convenient, when they want something from you, and then after that they're done. And they, and that's it. Um, I would say also what love is not in a friendship is when you try to force your convictions or your thoughts upon that other person. They are another human being who has their own thoughts, who have their own convictions and likes and dislikes. And don't hear what I'm not saying. I'm not saying that you're totally, in a friendship, there will be some commonality. Like as a Christian, as a believer, you probably, your close friends or people who are in your inner circle may be, more than likely of the same faith. Like you do believe, the same. So I'm not saying that, like total difference, in other words, in a total difference, I don't know, kind of getting brain fog right now, but that is something that I would say is not a friendship, is someone that you can't be yourself with. It's like you feel like you're walking on eggshells around them. And like, oh, if I don't say the right thing, or if I, whatever the case may be, maybe I had a bad day, and I'm not, just maybe just whatever, and then that person, they react to you in some kind of way, negatively, or just how they may respond to you. Um and and, and so to me, that's, if you can't be yourself, then I don't think that's love. I don't think that is love. And um that's what I would say. That's my short version of what I would say. For me, those are the things that I look for. I look for, can I be comfortable around this person? um or do I have to walk on eggshells? Am I, like, maybe I may say something that, maybe, I don't know, and I don't know, it may be something that could be offensive to them, and then just tell me. Just say something like, oh, sis, or whatnot. And then, because I don't want to, if you are like, well, this is just the way I am, so deal with it. That's, I mean, okay, deal with it and bye. I mean, I don't mean by you exactly. I don't mean by saying that person has to like, they're like, this is me. And so you don't like it, or oh, now you're telling me I need to change and be something I'm not. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that there are some things that could be like, oh, brother or sister, that really does offend me, or that really does bother me. Could you, I mean, in that way, because you don't want to be offensive to your friend. And so that's for me. So that's what I will say to that. So now I will go with Sister Millie.
It's so true what you were talking about. And I can relate to everything that you said because I experienced that. And you you want to be able, I mean, it's a terrible thing to have someone and you don't feel safe around them. You
Mm,
don't feel comfortable. You feel like you are, like anything that comes out of your mouth is going to always be given with some criticism or some a harshness, or um, is going to be critiqued. And after a while, who would want to be in a relationship where there's so much toxicity
mm-hmm.
that you don't feel that you can speak freely, that you can speak honestly with somebody, because they're never going to receive anything from you anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, well, then that just goes to show you, I mean, if you're an intelligent person, and um, you know, a lot of us have made wrong choices,
Yeah.
because that's just our humanity and our fallen
Right.
nature. Um, and what could start as good, somewhere along the course of time, it turns out that it's like, what in the world was I thinking, that I was friends with such an, and sometimes this could even be family members,
Yeah.
that they have, that they, life just has a way of turning either better or bitter.
Mm,
Um, and that depends on the things that you've experienced in life.
right.
Now, does that give us the say so to treat some, just because I've gone through horrific, situations with people, doesn't mean I have to treat them badly,
Mm,
because love conquers everything. Love is the overfact, the love is the main ingredient here that can melt a brutal heart that's been, brutalized by life and the storms that they've gone through. But that doesn't have to come on me. I want to love because God is love.
yes.
Now, if there's something going on inside of that individual, that they've gone through these difficult trials in life, I don't have to receive all of that negativity. I don't have to receive all of that. I'm going to use the word vomit,
Mm,
because that's really what's coming out of them. But
right.
I don't, if I want to stay healthy, if I want to stay strong, I don't have to accept, anybody in my life in that way. And it doesn't mean that you're better than them, because that's the first thing that comes in. Oh, well, you're better than me. No, it just simply means that I'm not going to put up with, whatever you may be going through. Hey, listen, I can be someone who is a great asset, who can help you get over whatever it is. You can
Right.
either accept it or you can either reject that,
Right.
but it depends on the individual. Do they want the help?
Hmm.
Because if you could be with somebody, and I was in a very toxic marriage, where the brutality of the words, it does take a toll on you. But I don't have to stay there, because I know my worth. as a woman. I know my worth as a wife, when I was a wife, and I don't have to stay in that. So there comes a point of separation, you know, separation so that you can work on each other, on yourselves. And if it's meant to be to come back together, then God will do that. But in the meantime, you don't have to, um, endure that type of behavior. And it's funny because even earlier this morning, I received a phone call from one of the ladies that I was that I am kind of mentoring through this divorce care group. And this is a woman who's in her 80s, but who has been so battered emotionally from an abusive husband. Um, and that cliche that says sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. If that isn't the biggest lie that I've ever
Yeah.
heard, because words can cut. They can tear at the very fiber of your soul. And then, if you don't have Christ, you don't have any way of combating that to find your healing. So, she called me and she was a little distraught. And, I was on the phone with her for about an hour, just, giving her scripture, encouraging her, enlightening her on the situation that she's currently in. And it's not good, but we know that, she has purposed, that she wants to work on herself, because this is a woman who has been married for over 60 years in a very
Wow.
toxic, abusive marriage. And the saddest uh, comment, or the saddest statement that I think that I have ever heard in my entire life has been this: that from the moment that she got married, she knew she should have gotten a divorce. So you are in a relationship, and this is not friendship. This is a marriage, where they were children. And I can't even wrap my head around being in a relationship with somebody like that, because that is the total opposite of what love is not. Um, and so just being able to, you know, give a words of affirmation, encouragement, and prayer. We don't know how long this journey is going to be, but we're going
Yeah.
to be there for her. And we're going to continue to pray, and we're going to believe that God is going to bring about the restoration that she needs to move on with whatever how many years she has. So, I know that that is definitely what love is not. It's not abusive. It's not abrasive. It's not. Love will never crush anyone
Mm.
emotionally or physically. We're not punching bags for anyone. We're to build one another up, encourage one another, come beside one another when we're going through difficult times, and we are going to have those. That's why it's so important to, you know, um, what the Bible says and what Scripture says is, don't forsake the gathering of one another, because we really do need one another.
Amen. Amen. Wow. Thank you, Sister Millie, for sharing that. Wow. Um, wow. Just, I got some thoughts there with that. That is 60 years. Wow. 60 years. So, Brother Mac, well, we're going to go with Pastor Well. Pastor Well, um, so can you um, speak to that? What is not love and friendship?
What love is not? Okay, what love is not in friendship? Okay, thank you for that. Sister Myla, thank you so much for that. I think I'll pick it from where she actually stopped. I think the thing that, first of all, one thing people don't understand about love is that loving a person is actually an estimation of is, or let me say, your estimation of that person. So when someone says I love you, it's and then the person begins to work towards it. First of all, before you come to the place where you say you love the person, there has been an estimation on your own part. How does this person deserve me, or things like that? And thus you move forward to say, okay, I love this person, and then you begin to work towards it. I think one of the worst statements, I think, which is very common, is the fact that love is unconditional. I think that's where this abuse actually comes in when we tell people that, oh, love is unconditional. So the moment I love you, that means I love you for life. No, let's take a bearing from God, because God is the standard for love. So God loves us, yes. His love is sacrificial, yes. But is it unconditional? No. John 3:16 is clear. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. That whosoever, that's already a condition, that whosoever believes in him will not perish. Yeshua speaking, he said something, he said, if you love me, you will keep my commandments. So if every time I hear people say, oh, love is unconditional, that's where this abuse comes. Because if you say love is unconditional, what you're actually saying is that love doesn't have responsibility. Love is cheap. And whatsoever is cheap, absent of responsibility, will be abused. There's no way to guide against abuse. When you say love is unconditional, you open a lot of doors to absurdity, and then people are abused, and then they say, no, you make the decision already. But if God is the standard of love, which God is, then you have to, your definition and interpretation of love has to come from God, not what society says about it. Because many of the time we mistake infatuation for love. Like I always say, love begins where infatuation ends. Like what my dear brother Mafasi said this evening. Love is a decision. So if you take away that decision, then what you just have is just floating emotions. Now, what love is not is this: love is not absent of responsibility, and love is not cheap. If you love somebody, it will cost you, and you have to work each day to protect what both of you share. So when you are in a relationship with someone, and then the both parties are acting as though we have nothing to lose, then there is no way you can guard against abuse. So love is not absent of responsibility. Love is not cheap. So the love has to be well defined, like I said earlier, to say, okay, fine, this is where we are going, and this is what we want to achieve, and this is our reason for coming together. If all these things are not well spelled out, then there is no way you can guard against abuse, because there will be no, if you take away all this responsibility and every other thing that comes with it, then there will be no need, room for accountability. And when you don't have room for accountability or responsibility, the next thing that follows is abuse. So when we look at all these things, we must look at and say, okay, fine. When you are going into a relationship, whether friendship, marriage, or whatever, with a person, there has to be clear goal from the very beginning. For example, my relationship with you, Mafasin, and the rest of us, there is a clear goal. So there is something to protect there. So, but if we say, no, love is absent of responsibility, is unconditional and everything, then you cannot even predict what I'll do next. And at the end of the day, one person in that relationship will be abused, and the other person will think, no, I'm just being real. No, the reason why some people do the things they do is because they have this very twisted mentality concerning love, that once one is this love, then it can put up with anything. That's not what the scripture says. If you look at Romans 8:28, check the characteristics of love in scripture, it didn't say unconditional, so that you can come to your senses and make an adjustment. The love of God, God is patient towards us. The Bible, because I love you, stay the way you are. No, God doesn't do that. God is bring us to the place of repentance and transformation. So that's the reason for the love of God. So for God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in Him shall not perish but have everlasting life. And then He went further to explain that there is a concept of the way from God's perspective. I think we will have a healthy relationship, get the best out of ourselves. But when we take away the place of responsibility, accountability, and everything,
Unmute yourself, Latanya.
Okay, you can. Okay, sorry. I'm working from two screens. Sorry, sir. We're having, you're actually on a whole different, you're on my laptop, or everybody else is on my desktop. I don't know how it's working, but can you see everyone?
No, I can only see you.
You can only see me. Okay. Can you all hear him? Can you hear Pastor David?
But I can hear the voice of others, but I
Okay.
can't see them.
What I need you to do, because I need to bring you on the screen on my laptop, and so what I'm doing, I'm copying. I just copied, and then I am
yes, I can see my.
right. But and I am going to. I'm sending you a. You're not on WhatsApp, are you? I sent
Yeah,
it.
I do.
Are you on WhatsApp?
Yeah, let me send you my WhatsApp number.
Okay, and then that way I can add you.
All right. Just a few minutes, please.
You can, if you can put it in the chat for me. And so I'm going to, in the meantime, thank you, Pastor Well. Brother McPherson, can you tell us what friendship is not? What love is not? I mean, what, yes, what love is not in friendship. Sorry.
I've sent it
Okay.
before.
Okay. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. First of all,
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
first of all, I'd like to put this notion forward. Now, this is it. We must understand that everybody goes into friendship to be better than they were. Because I love the fact that I can be factual. Everybody goes into friendship to be better than they were. That's what the Bible said. The Bible said, iron sharpeneth iron, so the a man the countenance of his friend. So when the Bible used iron, what it meant is this: two people coming together to work on each other, to be sharpened and to be better. And the Bible also said that sorry, okay, sorry, I'm back. So when we understand this, we'll get to understand that the reason we go into the relationship of friendship is to be better. Is to be better. Whereby when you are in this relationship, you are investing into someone and the person is doing the same. It might not be same investment. For example, I'm investing in you by being a shoulder or a voice of advice, a voice of caution and other stuff. Why you have another way whereby you are also investing. Let's understand this. There are different kinds of relationship. When it comes to science, science recognizes, I think, up to like 6 kinds of relationship: commercialism, symbiotics, if I can remember them vividly, parasitism, and we have a lot of kind of relationship. Parasitism is a very dangerous kind of relationship whereby one person is gained, the other is not gained. The other is not benefiting, is not gaining, is being harmed. And such relationship or such friendship is what we see between mosquitoes and human beings. And there are people we've delusionally gone into a relationship with or gone into friendship with. And sorry, let me use these words. Okay, let me not use it because okay, let's continue. I wanted to say they are nothing. Okay, sorry, let's just continue. So the relationship of mosquitoes and human beings, that's what you qualify some kind of friendship that we keep, that we are into, whereby one person is benefiting, the other person is not. Parasitism. Relationship between the relationship between human beings and tick and lies, whereby one is gained, the other one is not gained. But true friendship is supposed to be a platform whereby both ions are sharpened to become better. To become better. The Bible said, iron sharpeneth iron. So a man, the countenance. So if I met Pastor Wealth at level 1, I don't necessarily have to be on the same level with Pastor Wealth. I might be on level 2, Pastor Wealth is on level 1. By the time we've stayed together for some time, Pastor Wealth comes to level 2. Why me? I must go to level 3, or there's a problem. Pastor Wealth is now a parasite to me. Have you ever seen kings keeping friendship with slaves, with servants? No. Why is that? Have you asked yourself why? This is because a king becomes a servant when he moves with servants. You are judged by the people you move with. Please get me right. I am not saying that you neglect people that's not what I'm saying. Because like I first of all said, I defined what it means by I love everybody, I talk to everybody, I contribute to everybody. It is different from this is the person I have brought into my inner circle. Because what we don't understand, a friend is somebody you war with. I'm not saying I'm somebody that goes to war with you. Because every time you wake, everything you do, every transactions in this life is all about is war. You are like going to war in business, anything you do. So a friend is that person that sharpens you, that you can run to, and both of you sharpen each other in one way or the other. Or else the relationship is detrimental to one. It's detrimental to one. So what I'm saying in a nutshell is that there's a difference between being a mentor and being a friend, and being a friend, and you and somebody you are friends. So please let me quickly also say that. Let me correct that also. There's a difference between I have a mentee, right? I'm a mentor to somebody, and somebody is my friend. There are two different things. If I'm a mentor to somebody, I'm expecting little or nothing from that person. I'm expected to invest in that person. A friend is different. A friend is give and take situations whereby they are there for you when you need them, and you are there for them when they need you. So if you are keeping any friend and you find out that both of you have been on for a long time and you've not contributed anything meaningful to each other, look for somebody else. It's a simple truth. If you are looking for somebody to mentor, look for somebody to mentor. If you are looking for a friend, look for a friend, because a friend makes you better. Now, what is friendship not? So let me quickly talk about that. Friendship is not agreeable. Is there any word like agreeability? Being agreeable. Being agreeable. That means you conform to everything the person says because he's a friend. Even when the person is going wrong, you know this person is doing wrong, you conform. Why? Because the relationship is parasitic. You are giving me money. So what do I do? When you are going wrong, I just tell you, oh, don't worry. Don't worry, you were right. You shouted on your wife very well. That's a good thing to do. Why? I'm a parasite and you are the host. So I become agreeable to everything you say. That's a very dangerous relationship. Why? Because that person will be the death of you. Why? Because you'll be falling into a ditch and they'll be clapping for you. They'll say, wow, you did it very well.
So somebody that is very agreeable, you should be careful. If I am wrong, a friend should be able to tell me, hey, you are wrong. A friend is one that is not scared to correct me anywhere, anytime, and tell me you are wrong. So what am I saying? Because when I was talking about the Bible verse that says there is a sharpening between two friends, there must be. It's not there is. There must be a sharpening between two friends. We'll get to realize that in that sharpening, there is correction. And the Bible said, when thou art being corrected, harden not your heart, oh man. So there is always correction in sharpening. When you are being with somebody, you've never corrected that person. Everything the person has done or is doing is A1, and everything you are doing is A1. There is a problem. There's a problem because you people are coming to perfection. You came together to come to perfection. You did. So at the long stretch, you get to realize that when it comes to the friendship circle, is a very tight and small circle, which we don't allow a lot of people into. Is the truth. There's a difference between being an acquaintance and being a friend. Because in that small circle, what happens is what is going on in that small circle is life-changing issues. When we understand this, we get to understand the people we should dine with. And sorry, let me change that word. Because if I say dine, it means I'm secluding. No, the people we are allowing to that circle is very critical because it tells how we mature and how we engage the whole world as a whole. We have seen friends who ended up being a wrong voice in their friend's marriage and then ended their friend's marriage because they either were agreeable, conforming, or I don't know. So what is friendship not? It is not agreeability, whether you agree to everything. You are right, you are right, you are right, because you are just a parasite to that person. Now, I heard there's a billionaire in Nigeria who was sharing his experience. Like I said before, I said when you see kings sit to talk deep issues, when kings want to meet with servants, they meet with them as subjects. They talk from higher platforms to their servants, to their subjects, and tell their subjects conclusions they have reached. So there's no friendship. There can't be friendship there. They can help their subjects. That's why I was talking about a mentor. They can help their subjects become something. But the thing is, a king does not expect little or nothing from his subjects. But when kings have strong issues to deal with, what do? They go to people who are of same ranks or can actually contribute. Now, a billionaire, he told us what happened to him one time. He said then he was just a millionaire. And then what happened was he got to meet a friend, a billionaire in Nigeria. He said he got to meet a friend, and that friend actually brought him into the circles of billionaire. So they were having a meetings, and he had to be in that meeting. He said he was very happy, extremely happy to be in that meeting. He said when he got to the meeting, he said he sat down. He said through that meeting, he said what was being discussed was, hello everybody. I just made an investment of $50 billion into oil and gas. And I'm thinking of making more investment into this. The other person spoke up and said, oh, should I join you in the investment? I have some money to spare. The other person spoke up, I've made so billion into this. He said he was watching them. That was where he realized. He said he swallowed that poor man mentality of saying, please, me, I'm looking for help. I'm a millionaire. I'm looking for who will help me. He said that was when he realized that when you come within the circle of kings, they are not looking for who to help. These are friends seated, rubbing minds on how to get better. So you don't come here and play the pity party or, hey, I'm suffering. My mom just died. My father died. No. What can we get from you? What can you get from us? This is a place. In this circle, we grow each other. He said he swallowed it and he understood what happens between the circles of billionaires. They are not coming to discuss all those stuff. So what I'm saying is this. In a friendship circle, it is a circle whereby you are careful to bring people into, and when they come into it, they share your secrets. And when they share your secrets, they help to grow you. And if they are not growing you, they are not friends. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brother McPherson. Thank you for that. So, Pastor David, thank you for joining us. Can you give? You're welcome. Can you give your contribution on what friendship is not, what love is not in friendship?
All right. I appreciate all the speakers in the house. Everybody has contributed very, very well, and it was so amazing. Especially my brother that just spoke right now. It was so amazing. Like um, it it speaks my mind, everything in my mind that I'm about to say speaks everything up. But I'm just going to drop a little contribution about this. All right. First thing, when you want to make friends with anybody, so you have to have a purpose of doing that. That's number one thing. You have to have a purpose. So God don't just come into the world and die for people just like that. He has a purpose for doing that. Yeah. So when we said for God to love the world, He has a purpose for loving the world. And what was the purpose? The purpose is to connect the mankind, is to connect the people to God back again. The purpose is to bring the people back to God again. So what friends is not in love, what friendship is not in love is what we are talking about. But first thing we need to know is the purpose of friendship. I want to make friends with you, and what was my purpose of being your friend? So I must have a purpose. Did I just want to be your friend just because, should I say just because you are beautiful, or just because you have a skills, or just because you have something that I just fall in love with? No, you must have a purpose. You must have a purpose of going into a relationship. You must have a purpose of going into love. You must have a purpose of going into marriage. When you have that purpose, then you will have to have the understanding that this or that can destroy the friendship. This or that can destroy the relationship. But if you don't have the understanding of war of if you don't have any purpose, if you don't have any purpose, number one, you will misbehave in the relationship. That is the reason why, to those of us that went to court registry for marriage, there are questions you will be asked. There are questions that will be read to you. Are you ready to take this man or to take this lady? Ask your wife in sickness. These are the consequences of friendship. In problem, that means when problem arose, will you still be there? So if you don't know this, then you will end up doing what friendship is not. Then you will end up betraying in the friendship. Then you will end up uh by biting at the back in the friendship. So first thing, you have to have the reason for going into a friendship with anybody. Number one, you have to be ready for that. So that was the reason why I said in courtship, in registry, a lot of things will be read to you. Are you ready? So you are making a oath. You are making a covenant. So when you defy that covenant, it becomes what friendship is not. When you when you kick against what you said yes to in the registry, it becomes what friendship is not. So you have to be faithful to your word, and you have to know the purpose. That was the reason why, when you remember, Jesus is about to break the covenant in between him and God. While he was praying, the Lord, let this cup, let this time pass me by. But he later realized that he later come to understanding of what friendship is and the purpose of him on the earth. So he changed the word back again and said, Lord, let your will be, let your will be done. You can see that. So if you don't have a purpose of going into friendship, you will end up in what friendship is not. So you just have to know going into friendship, there is a lot of things you have to endure. So what friendship is not for backbiting, friendship is not for hatred, friendship is not in love. The reason why some couples end up fighting each other is because they don't study each other, and some of them do have a genuine reason of going into that friendship. Some of them don't have a genuine reason of friendship. Some just feel my friend has married, so let me to go and marry. Some feel that my age is out of marriage. I should have a child. I should have had a kid. They don't have a reason. They don't have a genuine reason of going into a friendship in love. So they will later end up what friendship is not. They will later end up in fighting each other, trying to kill each other. They will end up in hatred. So if you will have the understanding of what friendship is not, number one, you have to have the understanding of the reason why you are going into that friendship in love, the reason why you are going into that relationship, the reason why you want to marry the sister. As I do say, you don't marry because of beauty. You should not marry because of gifts. You shouldn't marry anybody because of wealth, because all these things are material things, and it anything can happen to them. You can lose it. Lost your beauty, you lost your money, your gift is no more functioning like before again. The love is over. So what friendship is not, the Bible in the book of First Corinthians chapter 13 has explained it all. So when you said you have the heart of charity and you don't love, and you are filled with hatred, and you are filled with jealous, by biting, saying evil word in the back, then you don't have what we call charity. So to my contribution, what love is not is when you understand your purpose of going into relationship. It is then you also have what can destroy it, and stay out of it and avoid that. God bless you. God bless you. Ah,
You. Thank you,
and
Pastor
more.
David, for that. Thank you. So Sister Lily, sorry, we Sister Millie had to um she had to go, so it's going to be just us. And I also just want to say to those who are joining us live on YouTube and on Facebook, that if you do want to come on live, just send a message and I'll send you the link and you can come on. So now we are going to move on to what is love in courtship. What is love in courtship? So, let's see. We'll go with Pastor Well. And Pastor Wealth, since you're married and you're already crossed over, you know, to that, um, I'm sure you would have a lot to speak. Is that on?
Hello, Satan. I wasn't hearing you well. Can you take the question again, man?
I said,
Hello, man.
can you speak to what is love in courtship?
Okay, what is love in courtship? I think love courtship is actually a continuation of friendship. Just a in a deeper sense, in the sense that you guys are actually progressing towards uh uh consummating your relationship, if I put it like that. So now, when you are dealing with the issue of courtship, love in courtship, I think it has to do. Please, Tatanya, just give me a minute. Let the next speaker take his turn. Let me attend to my daughter.
Okay. Brother McPherson, can you give your it's over to you. Hello? Can you hear us? Brother McPherson?
Hello, Tatanya, I'm back.
Okay, okay,
The
you
net.
can.
Okay.
I think we were having some technical issues with Brother McPherson, so
Okay, okay.
you
So
can
let me
continue.
just continue. So, like I was saying, I think in courtship, it's actually the next level of friendship when you are moving towards intending of marrying a person. I think the issue here, when you are like your question, you are talking about love in courtship. It doesn't really change much because if you have made the decision from the very beginning to if the purpose is already known for going to that relationship, I think courtship is actually just the next level of it. So because you actually it's just like building block, you are building upon what both of you started. So in courtship, it's actually a time for asking deeper questions. I think that's what actually courtship is actually about. It's actually a time of asking deeper questions because you are now intending to cross over into what should be. I am careful to use the word what should be a permanent relationship for as long as you live. So that's the time you begin to ask questions, you begin to review some things because in the stage of friendship, it's actually a time where you get to know the person very well before you take the next step of say, okay, we want to go into courtship. I think the problem with our contemporary culture is that I think there seems to be a reverse. You just meet someone in a few weeks and then you let's start dating or courtship or whatever you want to call it, and then you are moving towards marrying the person, and at the end of the day you don't know the person very well. So later on you may start seeing things that you don't like. Why? Because in marriage there is no more need for pretense, but if both of you start from a place of friendship, because in a place of friendship both of you are open, so you know the person intently to say, okay, fine, this is how Tanyan is when she's angry, this is how Tanyan is when she's happy, or this is how Mafasin is when he's hungry. So these are things that you already know about the person. Then you make the decision of say, okay, fine, I can cope with this, then I'm going to the next level. Like a quote, although I don't really agree much with it, it said, marriage is like picking your own poison. So to a lighter mode, I think I agree to some of the explanation of that. It's actually you making decision because the relationship is not going to be rosy all through. So sometimes there will be friction, sometimes there will be disagreement and others. But in the place of friendship, you already know this person very well. So when you take the next step of saying, okay, fine, want to go into a deeper relationship. So it's supposed to be a building block from where you started to say, okay, from here we are going because we want to end up together. That's why I used the word earlier. What is supposed to be uh, for a lifetime. So when you look at all of these things, I think if your foundation, which is friendship, is very strong, then courtship just becomes an addition to it, not necessarily a time to say, okay, let's start getting things right and everything. So I think your courtship will be as good as your friendship. So that's just what I will say for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor Well. Brother McPherson, are you able to come on now? Are you able to?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
I'm
okay.
here. Sorry, I had a call. A call came into my phone. How can somebody share this on Facebook?
How can somebody share this on Facebook?
Can I share it on Facebook? This live
Yes,
so that
this
people
is
can follow.
yes.
I've been trying to do that. I couldn't.
Hmm. I
Yeah,
don't
me
know
too.
why.
I think it's the way Sister did it because it's love. It's like you can't share it to your own
Yes.
severally.
Mm. I even went on your
I think it's
page, Sister
because
Tanya,
it's
to
linking
share it.
YouTube and Facebook together. I think that's why you can't really share it. I've tried severally.
I
Okay.
think maybe
Let me quickly
after
give my
the
contribution on that note. Hello.
Yes, yes, you can go, sir. You can go.
Okay.
We're here.
If, if we agree that friends should be contributors, people that invest on themselves. Oh, hello. Hello.
Hello,
Epa Domosa.
Mr. Mark.
Domosa. Hello. Hello.
Hello,
Please, sir, let me call you back.
hello.
My person, mute your mic.
Hello, sir. Brother
Okay,
McPherson.
so sorry. Yeah, sorry, I'm back. A call kept coming into my phone. Sorry.
Oh no, no, you can continue. This is real
Okay.
people, real talk,
Um. Yeah. Okay.
real.
The okay. Let me quickly put this. If we agree that friendship is not parasitic, it is symbiosis, and it is commensal in nature. Both are gaining. But if one person is not gaining, that person is not being armed. But notwithstanding, now that we've agreed that there is a sharpening, and we also agree that in marriage, you should marry your friend according to what they have said. If that is true, it therefore means that every couple should understand that no matter what the situation of marriage is, both of them are supposed to be sharpening each other. The man should be thinking of how should I make my wife better? And the wife should be thinking of how should I make my husband better? Proverb 32 wife, that was what she was all about. Her husband was known at the gate because she was working. She was making him better. So when he's shouting at the gate and talking and making sense at the gate, it's because the Proverb 32 wife is the one that is empowered. She's on ground to make things go well. So what I'm saying is this: human beings are designed to gravitate towards what they are benefiting from. Let me say that again. Human beings are designed to gravitate towards what benefits them. And we run away from either what is taken from us or what is draining us as human beings. This is the law. There are a lot of wives who have become lackadaisical in their in their um in their duties and what they should be doing. They've relaxed into the role of wife and forgetting that a man can choose you as a wife and keep you in the house as a wife. But when it comes to core issues, he can decide to listen to another lady outside, another lady's advice outside. He can decide to have somebody else who is playing the role you should be playing, Proverb 32, because you decided or you don't understand that that should be your role. Even after you married him, you are supposed to make him better in every way, and he's supposed to make you better in any way, in every way. Any man that is not thinking of what is my wife doing and how can I become of help, that man is bound to lose what they call whatever they think is special between them. And any woman that is not thinking, what is my husband doing and how can I be help to him? How can I contribute? That woman is also bound to fade into the background of his life. I hope people are listening.
Yes, sir, we
Yes.
can hear you.
Yes.
Okay. So when you marry a wife and say she is my friend, we've been friends for a long time. That is why we got married. That's why we are together. I remember how we started. How you started does not mean anything if you are losing where you are now. How you started does not mean anything if the future is becoming bleak, it's becoming dark, and it's becoming unclear. Because how you started very soon is going to fade into the shadows, it's going to fade into the background if things are not handled. Women must start to see this is the truth. When men go out, even if they got married to you, they will pass 1001 ladies. 1001 ladies who are either more dressed, more educated, more brilliant, more everything. You are not in competition with them. Oh. But the reason they came to you is because you are the one investing in them and you are the one they have chosen to come into that inner circle. But if you don't understand that, to stay in that inner circle, to be of help to him, that's what Genesis said. What now happens is both of you, before you know it, will either become roommates or both of you are going to lose whatever you think you have that is working, that once worked for you. So what am I saying? So for love to be kept alive or to keep going, each partner must understand what friendship actually is. It is an investment platform to build each other. Because on that platform, what happens? The love doesn't necessarily fade out. On that platform, the woman is thinking, what next should I do to make these things to make this thing go well? And the man is thinking, what else should I do to make? That's what investment is all about. What is the fallouts? What are the downsides? What are the profits that will come in if I do this in the house? And how should I tell my wife about this? How would she feel? Should I carry her along? If I carry her along, what are the benefits? Will she grow by doing this for me? Will she grow by becoming a part of this business I'm doing? Will she grow if I allot this part to her? Will she grow if I teach her what it takes to do accounting so that she can do the accounting of the house properly? Will she grow if I do this? And the woman is saying, okay, my husband is doing this. What should I do to help? How can I boost it forward? What advice should I give? What advice should I not give? Because what we don't understand is this: if you are not playing those roles, there is somebody that will be playing it. Because life hates void. Life hates void. Every void must be filled. That's one principle that people must understand. Every void seeks filling. Every void seeks filling. So if you leave a void, what happens? You've just left a chance for somebody else to come in and fill that void. I am not saying it is a yardstick. I'm saying this. He might not unconsciously do it, but that void must be filled. Somebody will bring in his or her voice and start contributing in there. That's how most people have lost their marriage, lost their love, lost everything, because they don't understand that your duty is to seek out every void and fill it. And her duty is to seek out the voids and fill it. So when you see marriages that are working, what happens is, see, when somebody say, be marry your friend, do you know what it means? I saw two couples, they went to a court, they were charged to court. Why? Because the man ran, I think he was given a ticket, is in America, he was given a ticket, and the ticket he didn't pay. So after some time, he was taken to court. So when he got before the judge was asking him, why did you pay when you were so he was trying to give excuses. And then the wife was there with him, and then immediately the wife spoke. The man said, yes, ma. And then the man started speaking again. The wife spoke again. The man said, yes, ma. Okay, ma. And then the judge now said, are you going to pay the ticket now? Asking the man, are you going to pay the ticket that was billed to you, or you are going to wait till weekend? And then the man said, I'll wait till weekend. And then the wife said, we are paying it now. And then the man said, yes, ma. And then the judge said, what are you doing? How many years have you been married? He said, 55 years. He said, and he said, yes, that's how I've been doing it 55 years. That's why our marriage works. That's what I decided long ago. And that's how we are going. So now what happens is they have a unique situation with them, which was decided, which they agreed on, which the man consciously realized. Because what they got to realize was that the man was not good in all those, anything that has to do with all those, let's say, for example, calculations or all those money things and all. But the woman was extremely good. So he decided to leave that throne that all men sits on. And then the woman, and they have been married for 55 years. So what am I saying? When it comes to this marriage and this friendship and this love that we are talking about, it is not complicated though. It is not. It's just an ability to compromise. God bless you all. Satana, your mic is muted.
Sorry, I'm getting used to this. So what is love in courtship, Pastor David?
All right, all right. Firstly, I appreciate all the speakers in the house again. I really appreciate that contribution. It was the word of wisdom and full of understanding. All right. Firstly, we need to understand the meaning of courtship. That is the first thing. The meaning of courtship. Courtship is the period where
I don't think
some
he's online.
couple.
Let's go to Pastor What? Our Father in the Lord.
Hello.
Yes, you can continue, Pastor David.
Okay, it's online. Pastor David, we can hear you now. You were not audible before.
Okay, okay. Oh, I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for that. Okay. What I'm trying to say is, uh, the first thing we need to understand is the meaning of courtship. The meaning of courtship and the purpose why courtship is included before marriage. Why we need to go into courtship before we get ourselves coming together as a family.
I can't hear Pastor
So,
David.
hello, can you hear me?
Pastor, what can you
Obviously,
hear him?
I can hear him. I can hear him. He was breaking before, but
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
yes, I
we can.
can. Satan, can you hear?
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. So as I was saying, we need to understand the meaning of courtship and the purpose, the purpose, the reason why we should court before we go into marriage, and the importance, the importances of courtship. Now, courtship is just is related to friendship, but a little bit advanced. So from friendship to courtship, it has advanced. Now, courtship is the ability of knowing each other very well, having a deep understanding about each other very well. In the place of courtship, in the place of relationship, it is where we don't keep secrets. So when it comes to courtship, we open up everything. Who I am, you open up who you are. So courtship is to have an
Pastor David, are you still there, sir?
hello. I'm sorry, I received a call the other time, so that was the reason why it broke. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
We can hear you.
All right, all right. So, so what we think about courtship is the ability to know each other very well. Maybe we can tolerate each other or we quit. So
It's kind of hard to hear you, Pastor David.
hello,
Okay.
can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, the network is frustrating. Yeah, also. So so what I'm saying is that courtship in relationship or courtship before marriage is to know each other very well. Is to know what I like and what I dislike. Is to plan together. Is to uh know each and everyone very well. So when you said you are in a courtship with anyone, the purpose of courtship is to understand each other before you go into marriage. Because if you don't court and you just go into marriage and start detecting what you don't like in that marriage, it will end up in divorce. Courtship is just a mini marriage. It's just like when you are married and you are living together, you're going out together, doing things together, just to know each other very well, just to know what to tolerate or what you will not tolerate. So when you are in a courtship, you are just in a mini marriage that is not legal, that is not yet approved. But you people are living. That is the reason why in my language there is a proverb we make for some people, because we know, of course, they are not yet married, but we make use of that language for them. And what was the language? We said our wife. Yes, it's not yet our wife, but he's acting as a wife. Why is he acting as a wife? Is because they are in courtship. So there is a lot of people monitoring uh the relationship. So the husband will be studying the wife to be, and the wife to be also will be studying the man, the husband to be. Likewise, the family also will be studying the wife that is coming into their family. So if they are not going to accept that to become a marriage, it will be cut off. It will be cut off in that courtship. So courtship is just to study each other very well. So that is the reason why you will see in the process of courtship, the wife has to take, the husband has to take the lady, the man has to take the lady. Let me call it husband now because it is not yet married. It is not yet marriage. So the man has to take the lady to his family. Why is he doing that? He's taking the lady to his family so that the family can observe the lady for him also. Why? Because they are in courtship to know each other very well. Likewise, applicable to the wife also, we take the man to his family to show his to show his father and his mother. This is who I'm about to marry. Why? Because they are in courtship. They have to study each other. They have to know each other very well. So courtship is the ability of knowing each other very well. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Pastor David. Thank you for that. Um, wow. I think I have touched on everyone on that topic of what is love in a courtship. So um so this will be open to anyone. This last question, and then I want to get into our Q&A. So what would you say is not love in courtship? Um, what would you say is not love in courtship? If I may, I'll kind of start out and I'll say, speak on something. I think that because as believers, I know that we don't really call say dating. Um, we say courtship. Some may say dating, but I think one of the things that people, what is love not in courtship? Well, I want to come from it from this perspective. Um, I think that when you're trying to, um, in courtship, when you're trying to force something upon that other person, I think that is not love. I think that how Pastor David mentioned about doing courtship, that is a time where you are observing one another. You are you're checking things out. the family is checking things out, because they can see things that you don't see. You take them around your friends, because your friends can see things that you may not see. And if they are your friends, you want to see how are they, because maybe they're not a social person. So you're going to have to weigh that, like, okay, this person um is not going to want to hang around maybe my friends. So how are you going to deal with that? And vice versa, seeing how that person that you're courting, how do they interact um with your friends. So that's something that the courtship is a time, or should be a time of really, gathering data, if I can say it like that. That it's a time of really gathering data about each other, and then seeing, is this something that I am going to be able to deal with or not. Um, I don't think that it's a time where, if you see something and now you, okay, let me say it like this. If you do see something that maybe you don't like, I do think that you can confront that. And then after that, see if that person makes adjustments or make changes. And if they don't get into an argument with them. That should let you know. You can tell them, maybe confront it and say, we talked about this, etc., and then see how they respond to that. But if it's negative, or this is how I am, I'm not changing, I'm not this, don't get upset. Be happy that they showed you that. And then you're going to have to make a decision. Do I still want to move forward with this, to the stage of marriage, if this person doesn't change? Because what I've learned is that you cannot change someone. And a very wise person, that I know, he has mentioned many times, and this is something that he does, in when he's working with people, is he says, for each couple, write down, um, 10 things about each other that you hate. And most couples are like, oh, I don't hate anything about, and he still encourages, write down 10 things that you absolutely just do not like, and don't share it with each other. And then when you come and then when the couple will come back to have a session with him, he will say, okay, now look at those 10 things, and if these things don't change, are you okay with that? Can you, like, live with that and move forward? And I believe he mentioned that most couples, they still, say, oh yeah, but I think there was one couple that actually they didn't move forward with things. And so I thought that was really, like, wow, I think that is really good. And I know another person that, for them, they're like, if the person that they are courting, something shows up, or presents through their attitude, or they do something, their thought is, I'm happy that this happened, because I'd rather break a courtship or an engagement than to go into a marriage and then find out about these deep things, and etc. So um so I really like that about what you mentioned, Pastor David, and what you have shared as well, Pastor Well, about how that is a time of finding out things, seeing what you can, maybe cannot tolerate, and some things you won't know until you are married and living together, because at that point you're still not living together, so there are just some things you're just not going to know. But as much as possible that you can know, um, don't be upset when things show up, and don't be upset when things happen. Actually, do the opposite and be thankful that those things did show up, and so you can um, examine that. So that's my what I have to say as to about courtship. So, Pastor David or Pastor Wealth, would you like to weigh in on that? What love is not in courtship? Are you, Brother McPherson? I just finished up giving my input. So we're on. I'm leaving the door open as to who would like to comment on that part. What um, love is not in courtship. And so, just a recap for you, if you didn't hear me, I basically was saying that I agree with what Pastor David was saying, that during the courtship, it's a time of getting to gather information, getting to see, you know, can I live with this or live with that? Just let the person be them. And when things do come up that you don't like, I'm not saying that you can't address it, but address it from a point of view to see how is the person going to respond. But if you're addressing it by saying you need to change that, you need to do this, well, I mean, I guess you could approach it from that point, but if they don't change, then don't be upset about that. Be happy that they showed you that before you actually went the next step, which is actually in a marriage. So even if you do point it out, I think maybe that could be good because you can see how the person responds to see if they try to make adjustments and care about what you're saying. But I think for the most part, let the person be them. And then you can decide at the end of that if you want to move forward or if you don't. So it's open to you, fellas, whoever wants to go and maybe make a comment on that, Brother McPherson.
Sultana, what was your question again? Because it was breaking.
It was what is love in courtship, or what is not love in courtship.
I think we've
That's,
taken our turns. We've taken our turns. My first thing I've said is I have, and then Pastor David. So what's the next question, man?
um that we were finishing up. We said what it was, and then I was saying what it's not. I think
Yeah.
what was happening is that everyone was kind of combining it. So we can go into at this point, if no one else have any questions on that. I think that this is a very important topic, especially of what it is not, because I think when people
Please, can I
are,
quickly say something?
yes, please.
Yeah, you can. You
Oh,
can. We're listening, sir.
oh, okay, now this is it. A lot of ladies are wondering why they've been in a lifelong courtship or a lifelong relationship and it's not leading to marriage. Because I think I can remember of recent, you and Pastor Welt, oh sorry, or we're talking about um, um, guys who have made some ladies Lord of the Rings. They've given them rings, and they are whereby you and Lillian agreed that very long courtship is not healthy for um, both couples' mental health and other stuff. And then you said, "Huh? Why can't somebody just you people just be there for years?" And then I laughed. Now, do we? I think they finished this courtship actually, although necessarily it doesn't have a time frame or a time limit. But notwithstanding, this is one issue. A guy, no matter the rings he gives a girl, whether he puts that rings on her 10 fingers and then her 10 toes, no matter the rings he gives a girl, there was a reason he gave her that ring. And when they are in courtship, or no matter what a guy says that activates courtship and says, okay, let's go into courtship, until a guy sees assets in you, you people will date for 500 years till Jesus come. Because the thing is this, I'm not talking about, Stefania, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So I'm not talking about boys, I'm talking about men. Because a man is defined by responsibilities. Why boys, they are a different ball game. Ah, so what I'm saying now is this: until he sees assets in you, you people will court for thousands of years until Jesus comes. So now, what is the who? And then you see ladies complaining, "Hey, I don't know what's wrong with this guy. This is that, that, that." No, the problem is not even the guy. Because if you are dating somebody that is a man that understands and is pursuing something, and something is not pursuing him, because something is always pursuing boys, while men are pursuing something. If that is the person he is, Pastor, what you're laughing. If that is the kind of person he is, definitely he's somebody that would want to have assets, not liabilities. So the question now is this: why is he not married to you? And the same guy meets another girl, and under 1 week, is the one that is begging, crawling, and asking that they should go and get married. So when it comes to assets, let me say this again. That's why I said not boys. When it comes to assets of a lady, it is boys that think bomb bomb is an asset. Big bomb bomb is an asset. I hope you get what I'm saying. It is
Yes.
boys. That's why I said boys are chasing, they are always chasing something. Sorry, something is always chasing them. So it is boys that sees big bomb bomb as assets,
Using them.
big boobs as assets. It is boys. Why men look beyond that? So that's what I'm saying. If a man that is a man is not, and he's not even making moves, understand this. He has not seen an asset in you. And most ladies feel the prettier their face, the earlier marriage comes. So the more beautiful
Yeah,
they
and
look.
just to add to what you were saying,
The,
sir, you were
sorry, sir.
asking a
What did you say,
question
sir?
just now. I don't know if you heard. You asked a question just now. Starter, I don't know if you heard what he said. He said, "Why do you think that uh, guys are not getting married to?" I think he asked that question, and I thought you were going to respond to that.
So are we so I would say I guess we have moved into the Q&A part. We can move into the Q&A part. Let's
Yeah.
move into that part of the session. So so you asked a question. Um could you repeat that question, Brother McPherson? And then we have some questions in the live too.
Yes, ma'am.
So what is the question?
I think he said his question was this, that if men marries access, then why do you think that most men will court some ladies for years and years after years after years and then don't want to marry them? And why do you think that is?
Why would a guy court a lady for years and years
From a
and
lady's
then
perspective, Satan, what do you think about that? Yeah, from a lady's perspective, what do you think about that? Then we'll talk from the man's perspective.
hmm well, I think that at that point it's in the lady's hands. that she is at some point going to have to decide, okay, am I willing to court a guy for years, without the guarantee of, and I don't even know if you can really guarantee, because you can't force someone to marry you. So I think at that point that, it's in the ladies' court, that she has to mentally, prayerfully, um, decide, okay, I'm going to give this courtship maybe a year or two. And if this guy, if he has not proposed to me, or we are moving toward marriage, then then I think having a conversation with the person to tell them that, and then would have to make the hard decision to break it off, or to move on,
Hmm.
or she can stay, and there's that risk that she could be in, a long-term courtship for years, and then it ends up not, uh, leading into marriage. So I think at that point that it's really in the lady's hands. She's going to have to weigh that option and see, is she willing to take that risk.
That's nice. Okay, Pastor David. Is Pastor David still with us?
Yes, yes, he is.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, Pastor David, will you weigh in on this?
All right.
Okay, let
So
me ask.
let me talk about the
Can I
aspect of man.
add a quick question to that? Because now that was a good question to ask, but then to counter that, tell me if I am correct with this. So if a guy is in a relationship with a female, courtship, like they are courting, if she doesn't put a limit on it, or say, okay, it's been 1 year, it's been 2 years, where is this leading to? Will a guy instinctively just continue with it? That a guy, does a guy look at, wow, it's been a year, two, three? Will he just continue in a long-term courtship if he's not maybe pressed to, um, as to where is this leading to? Can you guys answer that? And why? Thank you.
Pastor David, you want to go first or should I go?
All right, sir. I don't see the point of going into a long years in a courtship. If the man sees what he wants in a lady, he will move in to a marriage with the lady. But when the man did not see what he's looking for, at times, what some ladies thought a man is looking for is not what the man is looking for. Just like what Brother Mafia said the other time, there are difference between boys and man. Man mean responsibilities, and boys run after booze. Now, if a man sees what he's looking for in the life of the lady he's dating, is in courtship with, he's not going to waste time. He's going to have the lady in his house as a wife. But he failed to find what he's looking for. He will still be in the relationship, in the courtship for many years, while the lady will still be hoping that it will end in marriage. And later on, it will end in separation. And the lady will be disappointed by seeing the man engaging with another person, marrying another person. So the first thing a lady should check in and out about herself is that, am I a wife materials? Am I a productive woman? A woman that produce. So what I mean by productive is what contribution
Okay, I think Pastor David, we can't hear you. I think you might be having some technical issues. So we will go to Brother McPherson. Would you answer that question? Or Pastor Wealth, do you want to go next? Okay, Brother
Nathaniel,
McPherson,
what's the
you're going
question?
to go. Did you hear what I said? Okay, I'll repeat. So I said the question was asked that you had asked about being in a long-term relationship, and as a female perspective, how do you feel about like if it was a long-term courtship, like for years, um, and and just my thought on that. And I said, and I gave what I had mentioned about that. And so I flipped it and said, for a man, would he just stay, why would a man stay in a long term relationship, or does it matter to him? He would just take his time when it comes to moving to the next step of marriage. Um, and or it may end up not. What is the thought behind that? Will a man stay in a long term relationship if not pressed by the lady as to um, is this leading to marriage or not? Will he just continue in it for years?
Okay, I think let me tie what Mafasin said to what the question you actually asked. They are similar, but what you did was just to flip the question. I think the thing is this: when it talks about that of a relationship, lady being in a relationship long term, yeah, and things. I think the issue here is sometimes many ladies mistake being present for being an asset. Like Mavasi said earlier, a man will marry someone who is an asset, someone who he can see a future with. And sometimes, sadly, for most ladies, all they just bring, you hear things like, oh, what I bring is my pretty self. That is all there is to it. Your pretty self cannot build a future. Your pretty self cannot sustain anything. Your pretty self cannot do much for someone who has a vision. So you must bring not just your pretty self, you must bring brains along. Then every other thing becomes incentive. So the thing is that most ladies many times mistake being present for being an asset. Because I'm present in his life means I am an asset to him. No, you are not. One thing about men, just like if you look at the divorce rate, men hardly break up relationship even when they are fed up. That's one thing about men. Men, for the most part, are not quick to just initiate a breakup. If you look at the statistics, it always shows women being the first to initiate whether divorce or breakup. Men hardly initiate breakup. But the thing is that when a man is thinking of settling that, the man is you are thinking about the present for a woman. Oh, that's why if you notice when there is an engagement, who gets excited? It's the woman, not the man. because the man is thinking, okay, can I really take the next step with this lady? Because the man is thinking about his future, he's thinking about the future of his children, he's thinking about the next generation. The woman is thinking about, oh, wedding, oh, I'm going to change status. The man is not really thinking like about it in that light. He's looking at, I'm making a life changing decision today. Now, this lady, does she know how to manage a home? Does she manage? Can she manage any? Can she grow anything? So painfully, that most lady, especially now day and time, just come, all they know, all their entire thing is about how they looks. So you see people who focus so much on how they look, and that's why the cosmetic industry is very wealthy today, because that is the major focus for women. That's why you have more cosmetic for women and less for men, because why? Women are lucrative in the cosmetic business. So we live in a time whereby people focus. Before now, the role of a man and a woman in marriage was, we didn't need any classroom. It was just well defined. The man know his role, the woman know his role. But in our time, it's not really like that. There are certain people who just say that, oh, mine is just to come into the marriage, and then, because many of them from a child, they have been told, you are the princess, you are this, you are that. So they come into marriage with this mentality of retirement or a vacation from their father's house. But that's not what marriage is all about. So these are the things that goes through a man's mind. Is this lady, is she going to be an asset to me? But sadly, on the other side, if you flip it, the lady is thinking, I was there with him, so that means I'm an asset. No, that's not necessarily true. Because you are present doesn't necessarily mean you are an asset. So these are the things. On the other side to it is, sometimes when you give, the downside to it for that of the woman is that when you give a man ultimatum, and in the next 1 year or 6 months, if he doesn't marry me, then I'm going to walk away. For many of them who are already fed up, that just becomes a good excuse for them to put an end to the relationship, because in their mind that relationship is already dead. But they will just put up with you, because men are not really uh, upfront in terms of initiating breakup. So if you give an ultimatum like that, sometimes it can work, but most of the time it doesn't really go well. Because when you just say that, and when, especially when the man is already looking for an avenue to exit that relationship, you simply just made it easier for him to leave. I think other than that is to actually have a meaningful conversation with the person as a lady. Where are we going? Because sometimes shouting and everything, it's not going to do anything, because if the man has already made a decision in his mind, you can shout all you want. At the end of the day, you'll be the one to cry and you still go. So I think instead of giving an ultimatum, the first thing is to have a meaningful conversation, and then begin to pay details to his response, to the things he's saying, and to the things he's implying that he's not necessarily saying. And that will actually tell you if you are a priority in that relationship or not. On the other side, sometimes the reason why men may not necessarily want to just marry the lady is because sometimes they're also thinking about, if I get married, my responsibility become double. I have to take care of this lady. Then when children start coming in, because there's a lot that goes in for a man when you get married. Then now you have to be not just your personal provider. You have to provide for an extra mat, and then when children start coming, and other things. So every good man, I'm not just saying every man, every good man wants to create a better life for the wife and the children. So that becomes top priority to every responsible good man. He wants to create a better life for his wife and then for his children. So, and a lot goes into creating such stable environment to raise a family. So this can be another reason why sometimes men are not really up coming when it comes to this marriage of a thing. So either way, I think the what our advice on both sides is for both parties to have a meaningful conversation, to say, okay, fine, babe, this is where we are now, but this is where I want us to be, and uh, with God helping us in the next 6 months we are going to get here, and then we can get this done and things like that. So I think there's a way someone can carry you along. Okay, this person is thinking about it. This person, than just assuming that okay, I'm here with him, he goes nowhere. And that's where sometimes you see people begin to react badly, and then a lot can go into such, because why? The lady is thinking in one direction and the man is talking in the opposite direction, only for the lady to say, oh, now if you don't marry me in the next 6 months, I'm going to leave. And the guy was like, I wasn't looking for that opportunity to live anymore, and because of this and this and this and this. So other than that, I think it's always important to have meaningful conversation from both parties, so that you can know where you are in that relationship. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor Well. Thank you. So Brother McPherson, would you like to weigh in on that? On the question? So what would make a man, when it's a man in a courtship for him, will he
Can I
just
contribute?
will he just wait? Um, does it matter to him about how long? Like, will he just wait, linger it for years? Um, if he's not
Can I
pressed
say
on
something?
it. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. I think you should understand that when it comes to the length of courtship, or when it comes to the time to get
We can
married,
hear you, sir.
men are less men are less bothered than women. First of all, women, they have their society pressure, peer pressure, and then which is more on women than it is on men. Women, they have their biological clock pressure, which is not the same for men. So a man can be somebody that will say, I must be able to get this so that I can get before I can get married, because I have responsibility to bear. So at least I should be able to feed myself and know that I can feed two people before I can get married. But in another way, the woman would say, you are grown up, you have a job you are doing. She doesn't care if it can feed both of them. She'll say, let's just get married. That's a woman for you. You are of age, let's just get married. But notwithstanding, time is not a thing for a man. It is different. It is different for a man. But what I actually want to contribute is this. I'm going to do it through a question. Sister Taya, why do you think gold is valuable? Gold. Because
I
everything we'll
was
be saying, since I can explain it to you in this term, why do you think gold is valuable?
um I would say because of its value. I mean, it's not just laying around gold. And it's I'm trying to think of the right word, but it's just not laid around gold. And it's scarce.
Okay, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but that's not why gold is valuable. Now, the question I asked is, why do you think gold is valuable? And you said because it's not laying around. That's not why gold is valuable. Why is diamond valuable? It's not because it's not laying around. That's why it's valuable. No. The reason gold is valuable and diamond is valuable is because of demand. So, if the demand of gold is not there, if it likes, let it be scarce, extremely scarce, can't be found. It is only one gold that can be found in the world. It will not be costly. So, the gold is an asset because people need it. So it is need actually that creates the valuability of gold, of an asset. Satanya, can you get me? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Pastor, what can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you hear me, Sister Tanya?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Like I said, the reason gold is valuable is not because it's not everywhere because it's scarce. No. The reason gold is valuable, first of all, is because of demand. People needs it to make their trinkets, to make their whatever, to make their engagement ring. That is why it is valuable. But notwithstanding, to keep the value, there has to be scarcity. That's where scarcity comes in. So, need is actually what confers assets, what qualifies assets, or what how should I put it? Or what crowns an asset? It is need. So, if that is true, it therefore means if we are talking about a wife that is an asset, we are talking about what do I need you for? What need are you going to satisfy as far as I'm concerned? So, if that is true, it therefore means that the woman should stop giving ultimatum and stop being concerned about how many years, whatever, and then start working on being an asset. No man wants to lose an asset. It is the truth. Starting, I understand all men are gold diggers. We dig gold for a living. Why? Because our responsibilities are huge. The responsibilities we want to carry, they are huge. So the thing now is this: if I see you as an asset, as gold, I'm coming to dig. I don't understand. Do you get what I'm saying? So, and then somebody will say, if you are saying that, are you not saying that men are being selfish? They are looking for whom to use. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear
Yeah, we
you.
can hear you, sir.
Hello? Okay.
Yes.
So, no, that's not it. They are not looking for whom to use. When I said they dig gold for a reason, they are not looking for whom to use. At least they are not looking for liabilities. Somebody that will not be an extra burden. They are, they are looking for somebody that will help carry the burden, join in the carrying of the burden. Because women are so big on 50-50 shit. This family is 50-50, whatever. Whereas at the end of the day, it will still be the hands of the man that brings in the bulk of what we need to fulfill this thing. Village people. So now what I'm saying now is this: if you want, instead of giving him ultimatum, what you should do is this: make it that because until a man feels, if he doesn't see you as an asset, he doesn't care if anybody takes you away. Until a man is scared to lose you, he is not seeing you as an asset. Until a man is scared to lose you, he's not seeing you as an asset, because nobody wants to lose an asset. It is a liability that everybody can say, if you like, waka loss. If you like, don't come back. It's none of my issue. I don't care. And it's a liability that nobody wants to treat anyhow. It is a liability. But an asset is kept on the shelf, on a glass shelf, like a prize trophy. So we get to realize that instead of giving ultimatum, work on yourself. To an extent that if you don't work on yourself,
Okay, not quite for sure what happened.
risk of
So,
losing the
um,
asset.
okay.
The network is getting poor, yeah. Maybe it's
Yes.
because the weather is damp.
So I want to quickly get to some questions. I posted a question up. It was from Sister Lillian, and she said, "Can you see it on the screen?"
Said if he had not seen assets, why should he put a ring on it?
Yes. Could we
Is that the
kind of
question?
and kind of make our questions, our answers not so long, so because the live is going really long, and I know some of the network, and so I do want to get to answer these questions. So does anyone want to
Okay,
touch?
let me answer this. Can I answer it, man?
Yes, 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 please.
Okay. To answer this is, I think this is actually a common mistake that many ladies actually make, because I've seen this happen to my uncle. I think some lady works better when they are just girlfriend, and then they become very trying to look very polite words to use. Become very um okay, let me just say unserious the moment they are engaged, in the sense that when they were working on, okay, how do we get things better, because they didn't have this sense of security. But the moment they are engaged, this spirit of entitlement enters. So, he has engaged me, so that means I have secured the bag. No, no, you have not. You have not secured the bag until he walks you down the aisle. Many lady makes mistake. So just because the guy, because there is something the guy saw that makes go buy a ring for you, and then decided to engage you. Now the thing is this, like my dad will say when we were growing, he will say each time we get our result then from school, he will said, even if you, he will say it's one, but it's another thing to remain at the top. He will usually say it in our dialect. He will say it's one thing to get to the top, but it's another thing to remain there. Now the thing is this: if as girlfriend he was seeing wife material and asset, and the moment he engaged you, and all of a sudden he's now seeing that you are now retarding in that relationship, the guy begins to have a second thought that, oh, that means this lady was pretending all along. That means if I eventually take the next step of wifing her, this is how this lady will leave everything to me. Trust me, that guy can keep you there for the next 10 years because of just that change in attitude. That is that what I would say is this: be real, whether as a guy or as a lady, be real. Because many ladies now, they are into relations because, oh, uh I've spent the best part of my life. Then the next stage for me now is to get married. That's one of the most dangerous person to marry, because the moment they get married, they will never be committed to that marriage. You know why? Marriage to them was a means to an end. The man was just a run in the ladder. Now that I have secured this marriage, I go nowhere. So every other thing is up to the man. So, and that is one of the fears I have after engaging ladies, and then they begin to see that the lady begins to retard in their commitment to that relationship. And so that's actually one of the reasons many don't want to take the next step. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Pastor Well. So we had another question by Sister Lillian, and she said, "What happens to court marriage then?" And she meant to say this one to Macpherson. She said, "What happens to court marriage then?" What do you have to say in regards to that? So I'm thinking if I move up, she's saying, please don't put a ring with the intention of not marrying her. You can check out if she has got all the qualities of your desire before you decide to put the ring. So that
I
was
think
her.
the thing is this. Is she asking that what happens with court marriage? That is, somebody can easily go for court marriage. Is that what she's asking?
No,
If they are saying it's too cumbersome to I can't get her question.
basically, I think she's saying, why put a ring on a lady's hand and not end up marrying her? You can check out if she has got all the qualities of your desire before you decide to do that.
I think the thing is, courtship does not start when you put a ring. Courtship starts when you make the intention known. I think that's one thing we need to cross out. The issue is this, and we know as Christians, our courtship starts from the first approach, whereby you said you made your intention known, with or without the ring. So the ring most times doesn't come at the beginning; it comes at the end. I hope you know that. Hello.
Okay, so what you're saying is that maybe the order, in
So
other
what I'm
words,
saying is, the ring comes at the end, not
right?
at the end of a courtship, not at the beginning. If it's coming at the end, that means I have now seen that you are. So I'm not giving you a ring to bring you into courtship. I'm giving you a ring because I am not sure. So you are going to wait until I am sure to not give you the ring. Although, because I've never seen any guy who meets a girl for the first time and then a Christian guy, definitely yes, and then gives her a ring for them to go into courtship. That's stupid. When you give the girl the ring, it takes like a week or days or just 1 month, and then you are married because then you are already sure. So that's my answer.
So I actually added the question, if you can see it. I think this is what she's saying, because you don't get the ring until you're actually saying your vows. So that comes, like you mentioned, at the end. So I think maybe what our sister is saying is, why engage a lady if you have no intentions of marrying her? You should make sure you're ready. I think that's the better question. I think what is being asked. And what would you say to that, Brother McPherson, for a lady? How what would you say to that?
For the lady, sorry, I didn't get your question. Please, can you rephrase?
The question is, do you see it? I posted it.
Oh, why engage a lady if you have no intentions of marrying her? You should make sure you're ready. See, okay, see, this is what we're saying. Engagement is different. Okay, what is engagement? Engagement is sealed by a ring. How the, the person asking this question knows. Courtship is started by making intention known. They are two different things. Satania, can you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So there are two different things. You can't make them the same. Engagement is started or sealed by a ring, but courtship starts by making intention known. So there are two different things.
Okay. I hope that answered
She,
us.
yes, so she's not saying why engage a lady if you don't have an intention of marrying her. That's not true. Nobody, see, this is it. That was why I had to spell out or separate the boys from the men. You get what I'm saying? So
Yes.
at the end of the day, you still have to realize one thing. Any girl that allows, let me say this again, any girl that allows her courtship to start with engagement, she's in big trouble. It's like putting the cart before the horse. Any girl that allows her courtship to start with engagement, she's in big trouble. This is why she's in big trouble. Because I just met you, right? Before we've not even a hair, and then I come to you and give you a ring before we even go into courtship. That means I've given you a ring to find out. You get what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, if I now find that I end up finding out that this thing cannot be, what then happens? So it is not supposed to start with a ring. It's supposed to start with making intentions known. And then after that, when you found out everything you need to find out, then the rings starts flying out from the pockets.
Mm. So I have this is a thought that came. Thank you. I hope that answered your question, Sister Lillian. So to do that, would you say in a way that could be manipulative? Like the guy could, I'm not saying this could be the case, but for a person to start out, like you mentioned, give it engaging or giving a ring, could that be a way that he's trying to quote, I guess,
Manipulate.
lock her in so that she
Yeah,
uh so that she'll feel bad of seeing what her other options are.
that's very true. Now, most guys they do that, they manipulate. And the reason they manipulate is this: immediately they give you a ring, because a ring is a symbol of this person has been taken. That's what the ring stands for.
Mm,
It's a symbol of this person has been taken. So most guys are manipulative in the sense that they are not sure yet. They still need the courtship to become sure. But what do? They manipulate you by giving you a ring, first of all, to keep your options either limited or your options devoided. You devoided of options. So in the girl's mind, she's already thinking, "Oh, he has engaged me. Oh my God!" You get what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, what he just did was manipulations to get you feast before he makes up his mind, and then he might come back and tell you, "Omo, this is not what I want." So he's manipulative in a way. It is.
so Sister Lillian, she asked, then should the lady then reject the proposal then? I, let me just chime in, and then please, Brother McPherson, I want you to next. My thought is, if it's got to the point that this guy has given you a ring and he's proposing to you, then do you have a date set? Or are you just accepting a ring and a proposal and there is no date? There is no intention. I mean, it's just like, oh, we're just getting engaged and you have no like, okay, we're planning to get married in okay, we're in 2024 now. We're planning to get married, let's say in November of this year or the summer of this year. There needs to be some type of projection. Not that, okay, you're my fiance, we're engaged, and now it's just an open end date that's there. I don't I don't think that's wise. I'll just put it like that. I
No,
don't think that's
no, I'm
wise.
not talking about no. When it comes to courtship, it is not something that is open to that is left to chance. Whenever it happens, it happens. This is it. See, like I said before, I said, sorry, the question says, should the lady then reject the proposal then? Now, the thing is this. Now, the first question that is asked, intention that is made known, the intention that is made known is not with a ring. Simply put, it is, hey, I like you and I see a future in you, and I'd like to get to know you better. Okay? And then both of you go on the journey. But the thing is, while you are on the journey, It is that is when you start seeing the guy. Like I said in one of our meetings, there are words you watch out for. We, us, we and us. For example, how are we going to do this? How do we if we are going to give birth, how many children are we giving birth to? Now there are questions that deliberately come up that makes you know that okay, this person is serious. The ring has not started flying out yet, seriously. But the issue is, as both of you go, because the proposal has not happened, a stranger cannot propose to you and you will accept. I don't understand. The proposal for marriage has not yet happened. The ring has not flown out. So as you people go, what happens is this. It's not going to take eons of years. If you are an asset, this is what I'm saying. If you are an asset, the guy will be the one throwing crumbs and saying things like, "What is our first child going to be called? What is our this going to be this?" And you people can even end up discussing, okay, what is our final financial status now? What would it take for us to get married? How long can it take? These are the questions of courtship. So I don't understand that when somebody tells me, so should we just leave it indefinitely? I don't understand. What are you for leaving indefinitely? When you don't see the questions I just spoke about in courtship, you people are not in courtship. You are not doing courtship. Do you understand?
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
if you are not seeing these questions, you are just having fun.
Yeah.
For example, you are saying the reason you are leaving it indefinitely is because you are having fun. Because
Mm,
if the courtship is having discussions like, how many children are we giving birth to? What should be their names? Are we having a joint account? Where should the money be coming from? How much are we spending for wedding? Can we actually afford this? This is when you know we are serious. Not
right.
that you people are just doing your own thing, you are having fun, and then you are telling me you are leaving it indefinitely. The reason is indefinitely because it's indefinite is because you are having fun. You're not actually doing courtship. Because if you are doing courtship, all these are the questions that impregnate it. Then you know you are serious. Then the seriousness of it is showing. How much will it take to actually do these things? How much do we have now? This is seriousness. And then you know, oh, what we have now and what we have to make up for it. That means it can happen the end of this year. This is seriousness. This is it. This is what I'm saying.
So what I get what you're saying, and I'm looking, I don't see any more questions asked from our Facebook or from YouTube. So what I get what you're saying is okay, a question did come in. So Sister Lillian said, "Oh, so courtship should be a close and personal questions, more like intimate questions." And Sister Lillian, I would say yes. That is what I think. What Brother McPherson is saying, that he is saying that when you get to that point, um, you are having those personal questions. um you're asking, like he mentioned, do we, are we going to have a court wedding, or are we going to have a traditional wedding? Over here in America, are we going to go to the courthouse, or are we going to have a wedding, or are we going to have a church wedding? um uh when are we projecting, for this to be, are we, like you mentioned, do we want children, or how many children, where are we going to live, just all those type of things. Joint accounts, are we going to have a joint account and then have our own separate account? That's when, what I'm getting, what Brother McPherson is saying is, that's when you know that it's serious. Am I correct, by saying that, Brother
Yes,
McPherson?
you are. You are. You are.
So if you're not, so then the thing would be, if you're not having those serious conversations, and you're just leaving it open, somebody could end up getting hurt. And that's what I think is a big thing that also rolls back into how these long courtships and nothing is defined about it. And it even goes back to what we talked about friendship and the intentions. Of the relationship, the intentions of a friendship, the intentions of a courtship, of a relationship. I also think that it's important, especially when I think when someone's feelings have shifted from a friendship to feeling something else, that um the person whose feelings have shifted to having more feelings than just a friendship, would you say that that's when they need to let the other person know and not take it for chance that, well, I'm just going to wait till they say something? What is your thought on that, Brother McPherson?
So please, can you recap, please? Sorry, I missed it. I
Um,
missed what you said.
so when the friendship has shifted, meaning when somebody in that friendship, it could be the guy or the lady, is starting to have deep feelings or have feelings for that person, would you say they're obligated? Would you say that it would be wise for them to let the other person know, even if they are rejected? Because if not, and just leaving it by chance, who knows how long they could be waiting to, maybe, I
Mm,
don't know. Just what is your thoughts on that?
yeah, I think when a guy and a girl, that's why most times I I don't advise. Okay, I'll come to that. When a guy and a girl are in friendship, what most times what turns out is this: the girls most times catches feelings first, because girls, women are emotional, highly emotional. They catch feelings first, and when that happens, what happens now is this: before, most of these ladies, they become very selfish without considering the situation of the guy first, the situation of the guy. Because at the end of the day, these guys, or the so-called friend that you caught feelings for, might be in a relationship, or might even be, you get what I'm saying. So now the issue now is this: the first thing first is this: if the person is not in a relationship, and the person is not in any relationship, the first thing is this: telling the person about it. First of all, he might turn you down and say, we are just friends. That's all I that's it. That's all. I can't see myself. That's all. Right? And then that's going to be a lot of that's going to be heavy on the lady, because she's going to overthink things in her mind, and definitely it's going to destroy the relationship. It's going to destroy it. There's no going back from that.
Mm,
And what happens is this: I would advise, first of all, I would advise the lady, first of all, should be careful and analyze whatever she thinks she feels, and be sure about what she thinks she feels and the reason she's feeling what she's feeling. Because the thing is this: even co-workers that work together, they see each other every day, are bound. There's a 99% chance that you would fall in love at your workplace than you do you get what I'm saying? Because these are the people you see every day. So when it comes to a lady and her male friend, it is highly possible that you will catch feelings. But the thing is, you should be 100% sure, because at the end of the day, most of these people, they get to realize that it's just because of availability, and this is the person I see always. That's why I actually was catching those feelings. And most times it ends up not. You get what I'm saying? So what I would say is this: she should be sure of whatever feelings that she thinks she has, and also she should consider the situation of that guy, that guy is in at that particular time, and not be selfish. And then if she ends up telling him, she should also be prepared to be turned down, because it might not go well. But if it goes well, if the guy returns whatever feelings that she has, then beautiful. But if she doesn't, if he doesn't, it is going to be a falling out, and it might both of them. So that's what I think.
Wow, that's a good question. I that's a good one. I think that this topic we could definitely um, have another live on that, and then have engagement where people can ask their questions even more specific to that. But I have one more question. Another question by Sister Lillian. Um, she says it's on the screen. Then if he must disengage her, then don't you think he should look for a mechanism to gently put her away? Brother McPherson, are you there?
Okay, please come again. Sorry, just tell me, just recap.
The question is on, do you see it?
A call is coming to my phone.
Okay. Do you see it?
You know, go
I
here.
posted it. So while we're waiting on Brother McPherson, so our okay. Are you back? Okay. So it's just me. And I think this will be our last question. I don't see any more question. This has been a 3-hour live, and we actually are wrapping up this panel discussion on what is love, what love is not. And I hope everyone who will look at the video that you will take the time um, to listen, because there was really some good things that was said about marriage, friendship, and courtship. So thank you, Sister Lillian. Thank you. Um, okay, brother. Hello, are you back? Hello.
Yes, I'm back.
Okay. So this is our last question. I don't see any more. But do you see it that's posted? Okay, maybe his network again. So Sister Lillian, great questions. And so then if
I
he
can see
must
one. Please
disengage,
recap, please.
hello, do you see the question? Hello? So the
I can hear
question,
you. Please repeat the question.
it's posted. Do you see it?
Yes, yes.
So that's our last question. Would you like to speak to that?
Okay, now, if I understand the question, can you hear me, Mr. Tanya?
Yes.
If I understand the question well, she said, then if we must disengage her, then don't you think he should look for a mechanism for gently putting her away? Now, the first thing is this, Sister Lillian, please understand, not all guys are Joseph. When the Bible said, and Joseph did not want shame to come onto Mary, and he wanted to gently put her away. We hardly have Joseph guys out there. Not all guys are like Joseph. Like there was a meeting I spoke about the different kinds of breakup, and these different kinds of breakup are orchestrated by different kinds of guys. And there are some that are very. You can still hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay. So if you are talking about putting her away, let me explain the different kinds of breakup and different kinds of guys. I think there are three. First of all, there are those straightforward guys. They recognize your sacrifice and what, and then when they want to break up with you, they respect you too well, and they show up and stand before you and tell you why they can't continue. Those guys, they are straightforward people. They just tell you, and they allow you to also respond to what they have said. And then at the end of the day, they conclude, and most of those guys, they still end up still have good, as in good relations, as in they can still see their ex and still they don't have bad blood between them. You get it, because of the way the breakup went most times. The other kind of guys, there are those guys that are so devious. They are highly devious. This is what they do. Hello.
Yes.
You
Can
are still
hear
there?
you.
Okay. This is what they do. The devious kind of guys that carry out the devious kind of breakup. This is what they do. They've been in a relationship with you. They won't break up with you. They want to break up with you. This can be done by guys and can be done by girls. Don't just think it's only guys. They want to break up with you. They've made up their mind to break up with you, but they will not break up with you because these people, they are very devious. This is what they will do. Overnight, they'll start exhibiting all kinds of characters. Overnight, everything you hate is what they will be doing. Why? It is because instead of them breaking up with you, they want to bring you to a point whereby you yourself either does the breakup or suggests the breakup. They are very devious. So they start pushing all your buttons to an extent that you come to a point where you say, hey, this is no longer working. This is not what you told me. We should call it a quit. Oh, they now say, really? Okay, no problem. They made you come to that conclusion by what they did to you. They will taunt you until you come there. Or the devious guys are divided into two. You will be the one to initiate it. Or they will taunt you to an extent that when they initiate the breakup, you will accept it with open hands because you feel you've been battered, you've been taunted by them for weeks and for months. So if she is asking why don't he just put her away privily and other stuff, or it doesn't happen like that. And whether you like it or not, there's no breakup that is easy. The breakup is always heavy on whoever is receiving it. It's always heavy on that person. Why? Because the other person has taken time to make up his mind and to decide that this has to, and to the next person or to his or her partner, it comes as a shock. It comes as a shock. Please, not for the devious guys though, because they will make you. You'll be happy that they are breaking up with you when they finally do, because they made your life a living hell. So I think that's it. That's my answer to that question.
Okay. Well, we don't have any more questions. This was actually a 3-hour live. But I'm glad that we completed this panel on this discussion. I do think there is even more that can be said, but I would really encourage viewers to go and to listen to part one and part two. It was a lot of good information, just good nuggets. I'll say it like that. And please leave a comment. You have any questions, please leave it in the comment section. And do you have any well, I want to say, Brother McPherson, thank you for joining in. I know a lot of others had to drop off, and so I want to thank all of them: Pastor Weld, Pastor David, Sister Millie, Sister Lillian, she did try to join, Sister Vivian, Sister Joy, So I want to say thank you all for joining in on this discussion on this live. And so, Brother McPherson, do you have any closing remarks before we
Thank you very
end
much, Satana.
live? What did you say?
Yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm grateful.
Thank you. Thank you. And so I want to say once again, thank you for joining this live. Please like, share, and please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Real people, real talk, real issues. And on that note, I will, till next time, have a great rest of your day. Grace and mercy and shalom. Thank you.
Bye.
God bless.
Bye.
Bye.